Okay, today we're going to look at some JJA Prototypes. Evelyn and Smokey have been quite popular in my videos, so they're back to join us on this one. What I've got here, these two arrived in the mail yesterday. This is a board I had made last year. And what's interesting here is the fact that all three of these are actually almost identical shapes. But the purposes of these boards, the intention while building it is wildly different. I'm going to explain that in a moment. I also just want to say, yeah, we got about 40 centimeters in the last 36 hours, and I have not yet had a chance to ride these prototypes. But I will update it. We'll update you as soon as I have ridden them and I have something to say. But in the meantime, the intention with this board was it was supposed to be a pure free carver, very, very thin pencil line track, and it accomplishes that. I talk about this board, it's like a scalpel. When I'm turning this thing on steeps, I need to go 185 or 190 degrees on each turn just to slow down because there's so little snow displacement. It's a fast board. It's designed, it's called the launcher. It's designed for free carving to accomplish two basic goals. Free carvers want to stay on edge, stay lower down to the snow for longer. And free carvers want to finish their turns and with a lot of kick and a lot of explosive power energy into the next turn. Racers do more of an open turn shape. They don't really want to finish their turns, right? That's slow. But that's the kind of turn that I'm looking for and free carvers are looking for. So this one is the launcher. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's fantastic. One of my favorite boards. These two are designed for another purpose entirely. JC and I spoke about making a board for the intermediate advanced carver who needs the help of the boards to accomplish what he or she needs to accomplish. So we're looking at a few different goals in these. Number one, I wanted it super forgiving. And when I say forgiving, I mean forgiving of bad technique. So you can be out of position or whatever, but the board is going to help you. So you're not, the old boards, some of these old Burtons, for example, were like so unforgiving. If you didn't have perfect technique on every turn, you are out. And they were fast. I was small. I'm still small, but riding these was intense. So these boards are the opposite. They're supposed to be super forgiving. You can do whatever you need to do. As long as you're mostly turning the board, it's going to stay in the snow. This one is designed to be like in or out. I want to be in and I want to be locked in that carve. And so when it comes out, it's going to chatter a little bit, right? But it's also quite forgiving because of the materials, because of the 2 layers of Titanol sandwiching a layer of rubber. It's very damp and very forgiving. But it's kind of an in or out kind of board, which is how I want it, locked in. And then when you're out, you're chattering, right? These are supposed to be more of a slarvy board. So they're not going to dig as deep. They're going to slarve a little bit more, slowing you down. And and if you do lose your turn, you're just going to slarve a little bit. You're not going to chop the same way. Other things we were trying to accomplish with these is we were trying to make them easier to ride, easier on the body. This thing is quite intense. I have other boards that I can ride 2 or 3 times as many rounds before I fatigue, but the turns on this are better. So that's why I ride this on the best days. These ones are softer. The composition, the flex pattern, the materials, the resins that go into these are supposed to be easier to ride, right? Easier on the body, much more forgiving, slarvy a little bit. And the third thing that we are, design objective in these two was to be, what was I saying? Body forgiving. Oh yeah, slower. They're supposed to be slower. So while I said this one was super fast, very thin, scalpel of a track, these are going to have a slightly wider track, and that's going to help you slow down. It's not going to be so intense because when you're coming around at the apex of a turn, you're facing right downhill and accelerating, right? And the more speed you get, the more edge pressure there's going to be to kind of control that turn and bring you back across the hill and slow you down. So these are going to slarve a little bit in the turns. They're going to slow you down. The track is going to be a little bit wider, unnoticeable to most people, almost everybody, but pretty much any intermediate carver who got on this and then got on this would absolutely notice the difference. Now, like I said, I haven't ridden these yet, but JC rode them both, and he said 10 on 10, mission accomplished. And I take his word for it. I don't have JC's bio, but I will tell you that this man has an Olympic gold medal in snowboard racing. He is multiple-time World Cup champion in different disciplines. He has been designing boards and working with designers of boards since the 90s. And he's been building boards, I don't know how long, at least 10, 15 years. He also designed the plate that he won the Olympic gold medal on. This is not that plate, this is a different plate, but I want to just show it to you. Now, the idea behind a plate is to be even more forgiving, less fatiguing on the rider. At least there could be an idea behind a free ride plate. And if you look at any World Cup race or Olympic race, all of the racers, with the PGS, like the hard boot racing, they all ride plates. There was a push 5 to 10 years ago. Free riders were riding more plates, and some liked them, but they're quite expensive. And I never actually tried one before. I'm looking forward to trying this this week. But consensus was they're great. They're less fatiguing and easier to ride, makes the board more forgiving, all that stuff. JC sent this to me to try out. The idea is, if you can imagine, if you have bindings on the naked board, when that board flexes, the bindings also turn up and come closer together, right? So this is going to fix your bindings across a carbon fiber surface. So now, as the board flexes, there's no actual effect on your stance. And I don't know, people swear by them. So if you look in here, you can see this is kind of a sliding hinge, because of course, as the board flexes, these 2 points are going to come closer together. And so this plate can slide on top of the board and maintain its rigidity and maintain the independence of your stance and your feet, the position of your feet from the flex of the board. So yeah, I'm quite curious to try this. I think it's going to be rad. I've been wanting to try one for a while, but you need special inserts on the board, so it's not like I can just borrow a plate. I need to borrow the whole board and the whole thing, so I never had a chance. These are the boards, well, not these particularly, but these are the first two of a series of prototypes that we're going to do through this spring, and maybe even in the summer if we need to. But JC says 10 on 10, so maybe we won't need a lot more. But these are the boards that are going to be available next year. JC has agreed to send me 30. And so 30 is all that's available. And when they're gone, and that's it. And you will not really be able to get another wide Titanal free carver because no one else makes them. There are 4 companies in the world that will make a wide Titanal rubber combo snowboard, right? Coiler, JCJ Anderson, Winterstick, and Pryor. Now, Winterstick and Pryor really only make the more racy type shapes. So you're going to get a board like this. You're not going to get one specifically tuned for free carving. They may make some modifications to their race boards, but generally they're making a race board style, right? It's going to be a thin track. It's not going to have the forgiving characteristics of these JCJs. Coiler makes a beautiful free carve board, but he's just not taking new clients. They're just not available anymore. So yeah, if you can find one, if you can find any metal coiler in your size, buy it. They are fantastic boards, but you can't get them. So this is what's available. 30 boards. If you're watching this video, that means that they are available for sale on the website, carversconnection.com. Put down your deposit, reserve your spot, and expect to have them in time for next season. Oh yeah, and there will be some modifications possible, not in the shape. So the waist width will be fixed. I think we're going to go around 290 to 293, somewhere in there for the waist. The side cut will be fixed at about 10 or 12 meters. They all need to be the same, but there will be some flexibility for customization in the stance width and in the flex. So we'll offer at least 3 different flex, but that's customizable for each person. And if you want to get them with the extra inserts, it costs a little more, but then you can try a plate too if you want. For anything? Sounds good? All right. Thanks for watching.
I never knew what you were going to talk about in your video, so I don't know if you've got any.
Well, what did you do today? You were supposed to remind me.